A lot of people here.
It is.
Questions for Coach?
Coach, what's been kind of your main role with this defense throughout fall camp?
You know, I've been working a lot with the secondary. But one of my jobs too is we have some young coaches on defenses to mentor them and be around them and make sure our drill works good and stuff. Because Coach Butler's got a lot of other things to do. So I'm doing that too.
Bill, I'm curious about your observations of Coach Rhule and how you've obviously been with him for a long periods of time. He's talked this year about being able to be hands-off because of the trust that he has in Dana and in John and having you around. What are your observations of that and the way he goes about his business?
Well, there's certain standards that Matt's he's going to require and demand from us. And it's really the quality in which we play, how physical and fast, and that we know and do our jobs, right? That's not going to change with Coach Rhule. I mean, it doesn't matter who the coordinators here are or who I am. He's going to demand that. And so, really, I don't see any difference in him right now.
What stands out to you about those younger coaches, as you said, you're mentoring?
Well, they're all going to be, but most of them will probably be coordinators or head coaches. I mean, they're really quality people and coaches. But, I grew up where the older coaches mentored the younger coaches. And I think there's a lot of coaches today that don't do that anymore. And I think it's my job to do that. Whatever I've learned over the years that I see can make them better as a teacher, I think it's my obligation to help them. And so the older coaches helped me when I was that age, and I should do the same for them. So those are the types of things I try to do with the younger coaches.
What things are you doing with them?
Well, it's like teaching, right? We can all get better at teaching. I'll give you an example. I was the defensive coordinator at Arizona State. Bruce Snyder was the head football coach. And he came in my meeting one day. And he left and after the meeting, and he said, "Phil, can I talk to you after practice?" So I went in, and he said, "Outstanding meeting, but you wasted 5 minutes." And I said, "How'd I do that, Coach?" He said, "Well, you drew formations. You had to stop the meeting and draw a formation on the board instead of having an overlay where you could click to that and there's the formation. You wasted about 5 minutes." I mean, those are the details it takes to be really good at what you do. It's like how you set up a meeting. It should be all outlined on the board so they can write it down and know exactly what the meeting is going to be about, all right, and the details. And if they don't get them, they can go back to that outline and ask the coaches later. So there's a lot of things I can help them with. Details on the field, how to coach, don't talk too much on the field. All those little things that I've learned over the years, and those are the things I try to help them with.
I know in the spring you told us you were really impressed with Coach Ekeler and the way he teaches. He's coming in here. How have you seen the guys just respond to him and that special teams operation as you get ready for the season?
Mike's fantastic coach. I mean, the way he teaches, he's around the players all day. He has an office, I don't know if you know this, upstairs with us and then down by the weight room. So he's around the players all the time, and you need to as a special teams coach. I mean, really, guys, they get to know everybody on the team because they utilize all of them. So he's done a fantastic job. And our special teams, I'm anxious to watch them when we start the season.
Phil, why do you think Matt's teams have made a jump in their progression when they get to around this time and his stays at places he's been?
There's a process that he does, and it's not easy. And I'll give you an example. We went to Baylor, and Art Briles was one of the best coaches in football, but he did things dramatically different than we did. And Matt was a hell of a coach. So different ways of doing it. So you got to bring everybody together and now flip that. All right. And so, it takes time. A lot of the things that Coach Rhule believes in and demands takes time. And you can see this team doing it. When Coach Rhule, like we got on the defense the other day about not running the football, and Coach Rhule came in the meeting. I mean, that they are just tied to him, to his hip. I mean, whatever he says, they're going to go out and do and believe. So that takes time. And the relationships and all that. And that's why I think the third year, Matt's teams have taken a big jump.
how challenging has it always been to be a good tackling team in week 1 of the season, and especially now with, the practices, full pads limited more?
Yeah, I think it's tough tackling anyway because you watch these young players, everything is 7-on-7, and, the mentality is not real football, right? It's all this other stuff when they're younger. So just to get players to tackle anyway is tough. But like you said, the first ball game, which you'll notice is missed tackles, all right, turnovers, and special teams, big plays on special teams. Those are the 3 areas that normally determine the first game. So you're right. And we've been doing a lot of tackling, especially with pads on.
When you want to tell guys, hey, here's a guy you should watch tackle, who on this team is tackling well right now?
Well, okay, I would tell you this, that the veteran players run better angles and they fit better. They just understand football better. But guys, everybody in this room, if you played football, you're going to have a loaf and you're going to turn down a hit at some point. We're all human beings, right? But what we're trying to do is eliminate all those. And so if the players, all right, if it's coming from the players about the physicality of this game and the effort, not from the coaches, but the players take ownership, then you get all that as good as it can be. But guys, there's always going to be somebody turn down a hit or a missed tackle, right? But if we're flying to the football and you miss a tackle, all right, there's 2 or 3 other guys standing there. So those are the goals right now.
Curious what you've seen from Coach Bradden and what he's been doing with this defensive line.
Well, I love Terry. Terry's got a lot of energy, and he's got the toughest job in our staff because Rhule's a D-line guy. So, Matt comes in, but I think Terry and Coach Rhule are getting along real well, and I see progress in every one of those young guys because, guys, we're really young at D-line, and we have a lot of players with 3 and 4 more years that are going to be really good players here. So Terry's doing a great job.
Going off of that, speak to the benefit of then being able to kind of craft those players the way you want them, that Terry's able to do.
What's so hard about college football today is, look out, guys, our secondary, the veterans in our secondary, do you know this is their 4th DB coach? And that's college football now. Players are leaving, and so are coaches. So, I don't know what coach is going to be here next year or what player is going to be here. That's the world we're living in. So what we've got to do is bring them together, all right, mold them and get them as good as we can. But to answer your question, anytime you can have a player 3 or 4 or 5 years, you can really develop them, especially that second year, boy, they start playing, and then the 3rd year, they're dominant. In the old days at Nebraska, you didn't play here until your 3rd year. Very few people played the 1st and 2nd year. That's just the way football used to be. But it's changed.
How have you seen Coach Rhule evolutionize himself as a coach, dealing with everything you just talked about with players leaving and coaches leaving consistently?
Fantastic. Matt has adjusted. You guys have followed Matt. He's adjusted how he's recruiting. He's adjusted to everything. You got to keep adjusting in this game. And that's what I always respected about Coach Saban at Alabama. And, he was a guy that was firm, set in his ways, but didn't he change? He changed the spread on offense. Then he adapted to all this recruiting, the NIL. You just have to do it, and Coach Rhule just doing a fantastic job along with his staff.
Anything else for Coach?
You kind of have a global perspective on the defense in terms of just like the roster. It's young, but just its athletic components. What do you see and like about the athleticism and the size and the speed of the roster?
Yeah, there's plenty of talent here, but the young guys got to keep developing. I tell the young guys all the time, I said, because this is what happens to them. They see right now, I'm not going to play this year. So what do? You think they come to practice like they should? No. So it's my job to get them to come and work every single day. So when it is their turn next year, they're ready. Otherwise, they're going to lose all that development over the next 6 months. So we just got to keep developing, and that's Coach Rhule's philosophy. Get really good athletes, develop them, keep them, and you have a player 3 or 4 years, you got a pretty doggone good player.
How have you seen just John Butler kind of embrace this transition to defensive coordinator here and the guys buying into him in that role?
Oh, Coach Butler's really bright. He's tough. He's competitive. It's like anything else, though. He's been in the league the last 8 years, right? So there's always adjusting, and he's adjusting all the time, too. He's doing a fantastic job.
Anything else? Thank
Is that it? Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
You bet.
Ekeler's here, so we'll move right on.